And I really do believe that Republicans need to seize this moment and dig in about keeping our word to the American people and insist that the liberals and I think it's time to pick a fight. I really do. Now, there's some editorial comment in the Wall Street Journal this morning that suggests that no, a more incremental approach is appropriate. But as I return to Capitol Hill tomorrow, I was on the phone as I was walking in with a colleague from Ohio who shares our House Conservative Caucus, Jim Jordan. We're absolutely determined to dig in and to fight. And look, nobody wants a government shutdown. I wasn't there in 1995. I was on the airwaves in Indiana when the shutdown happened in 1995. But I would maintain two things. Number one, this is not 1995. All right, in 1995, the American people there was not a general consensus that we're facing a fiscal crisis in this nation. I have argued with my colleagues, and we'll posit today publicly. In 1995, we had not much of the internet, not much of talk radio. We had not Fox News Channel of any great consequence. The various new arteries of informing the American people of what the real stakes are just didn't exist today. Thirdly, in 1995, we had a growing economy. We didn't have a situation where people saw an economy that was stuck in up to the axle with about 15 million people unemployed in this country, and they desperately knew we've got to do something different than we've been doing before. So I think it's not 1995. But secondly, let me say, nobody wants a government shutdown, but if we don't take decisive action to change the fiscal direction of our national government, we're going to shut down the future for our children and grandchildren, and that'd be worse than inconveniencing. So I think it is time to pick a fight. You know, I'm reminded of an experience I had in the 9th grade. I hesitate to tell you this with my daughter in the room because she may think less of me. Although I tell people, you know, my children and my wife lived with me in Washington, D.C. the last 10 years, and I tell people I have such a joy. After some heady days on Capitol Hill, I have the privilege of walking into a living room where there's 4 people who have absolutely no respect for me whatsoever. It was the 9th grade, and I wasn't quite fitting in. I transferred there from Catholic school into the last year of middle school, and I rubbed this one guy in shop class the wrong way. He started to spread the word. He was one of these guys. In Indiana, we call him corn-fed. You know what I mean? This was a big guy. And he basically had spread the word that he was going to beat me up after school. Now, this was early in the day. And I worried about this to the point of distraction until about lunch. And so I figured out, you know, why wait till after school? I had 3 brothers, felt like I knew how to take care of myself a little bit. Anyway, this guy was so much bigger than me, I thought I ought to get it over with. So I walked up to him in the cafeteria. And I said, I heard you're looking for me. And he was sitting down with his friends at the table, and he looked at me and he said, we'll take care of this after school. And I gave him a little shove on the shoulder, and I said, no, you know, I think we'll take care of it now. Now, if you've forgotten your 9th grade etiquette and rules, basically the shove means, you know, I started it, right? And so I'd be the one going to the dean's office. And so he looked around to his friends, and he goes, you all seen that, right? And he said, yeah. So he stood up, and stood up, and stood up, and stood up. I mean, this guy was a head taller than me, and about a half again wider than me. And he started to take off his jeans jacket. I was absolutely terrified. He started to take off his jeans jacket. About the time he got his jeans jacket right down around his elbows on both arms, I hit him as hard as I possibly could right in the face. And we both went flying over the chair, and we scrambled on the floor. And thank God some helpful students pulled us apart before we really hurt each other. And so my moral of the story, and I told that very story that very same way to my House colleagues a couple weeks ago, and I said, look, if there's going to be a fight, just get on with it. If there's going to be a fight, then let's just get on with it. On behalf of future generations of Americans, on behalf of fundamentally changing the direction of our national government, if Harry Reid wants a showdown, let's have a showdown. That's my message.